Welcome to Good News York. It is Wednesday. No, it's Thursday. What am I talking about? It's Thursday. I'm Mike Brindisi. Good News York, sponsored by Ads on the Go, getadsonthego.com. I'm very excited because I am joined by one of my favorite people and one of our favorite guests we've ever had, GM of the Syracuse Mets,
Yay.
Mr. Jason Smorol. Let's go. Let's go. This is my guy. The reason you're my guy is for many reasons.
I'll turn my phone off while we're talking.
Oh, you can leave it. The first time I met you, we had come to shoot some footage at the game.
Opening day,
Which was awesome. And I'm walking around with Matt, and I said, he goes, I got to introduce you to the GM. And I said, yeah, I can't wait to meet him. You know, I'm nervous, but that'd be great. And I'm looking around, and he says, oh, there he is. And I look around, and I said, where? And he pointed, and there you were with a big flappy hat on, screaming and hugging people and shaking people's hands.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the GM? He said, yeah. I said, I love this guy. And it's been a love affair ever since. Listen, we brought you in for a couple things, but let's talk baseball real quick first. We'll get that out of the way.
Your first place Syracuse Mets.
That's where I want to go.
Yes.
I just wanted you to be able to say.
I love saying it.
Say it one more time.
First place Syracuse Mets.
First place Syracuse Mets. Second half of the season, you guys are tied for not only first place, but for the best record in all of the minor leagues, my man. 30-11.
We've been on a heater.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just kind of, it's the way it works in minor league baseball. You just kind of catch lightning in a bottle, and we had a great nucleus in the first half, but it just has all come together. Really, at the end of the first half and obviously for this whole second half, it's just come together with the prospects and the veterans and the pitching and the hitting.
Yeah.
And it's awesome, and it's not slowing down.
No, and in fact, you guys just called up three young players. It was Jet Williams, Jonah Tong, and Carson Bange. Did I say that right, Bange?
We haven't figured out how to pronounce his last name yet. We're not sure if it's Benge or Bengi.
I hope it's Bang, because that, bang, bang.
I think it's
we can do a lot with that.
It could be. I don't know what it is.
Benge.
And then there's another one. There was a fourth one.
Oh, sorry.
Benge, Tong, Jet Williams, and Ryan Clifford.
Ryan Clifford, shout out. Sorry, Ryan. I didn't mean to leave you off the list. These guys, you think they got the goods to go to get the big call to the big show?
Eventually, we're going to find out. That's a big jump from AA to AAA.
It is.
And then it's a big jump from AAA to the majors. And then the trick seems to be is staying in the majors. A lot of guys can get to the majors, but it's staying in the majors. You look at a guy like Luis Angel Acuna, and he's back with us. He's a major leaguer, but they want him to play, so he's here because he's got there's a roadblock for him at the Mets right now. So he's with us because they need to keep him sharp. They need to keep him playing. So in addition to, I think right now we have, they just called McLean up.
Okay.
He's going to pitch Saturday for the Mets. So before we had 6 of the top 10 and 8 of the top 20. So we're probably 5 of the top 10 and 7 of the top 20 prospects in the Mets organization are with us.
And that is a tip of the cap to the organization as a whole, because if if the major league team's kicking ass and then the minor league teams are kicking ass, that means you got a great farm system.
Yeah.
And clearly you guys have done really great with that.
And that was Baltimore a couple of years ago. For the last couple of years, it's been Norfolk has been awesome, and the Orioles have been great. So it's a testament to David Stern and the Mets and the baseball department, and they've been drafting well and developing well, which is what our guys do. Our Dick Scott, JP Arancibia, and our coaches, AJ Sanger, our pitching coach, and Rick, our hitting coach. Their job is to develop players, to figure out how to take you from good to great, and how to keep that mental focus and keep advancing. So they say, that guy's ready, and it's time to go to the Mets. And go to the show, as they say.
That's right. And everything's better at the ballpark when the Mets are winning.
Oh,
whether it's AAA, major leagues, winning breeds happiness.
Winning is fun.
Sales.
It's great because we've had a lot of losing, so we have fun, and these things are out of our control. We talked about this the last time I was there. We can't control the play in the field. We can't control the weather. But when it all comes together and the sun is shining and the boys are playing well, it feels different going to the park for us as staff and for the fans.
Absolutely. And for those listening or watching that maybe don't understand the ins and outs of the minor leagues, I always found this fascinating. Is there a way for you to kind of decipher? Because there's single A, there's double A, there's triple A, right? And I think people are under the impression that it's like, you're really good in single A, then you go to double A, then you go to triple A. It doesn't really do that. Sometimes you skip over double A, you go to triple A. Is there kind of a brief summary on how that works a little bit? I know there's no real set format.
I don't think there is. I think it's based on the play of the player and sometimes maybe the needs of the major league organization. We're here to develop players, so they need the pitchers to go upstairs. They need the hitters and fielders to go upstairs. So when someone's ready, they're ready.
Yeah.
And they sometimes they rush a guy. Sometimes they take too long with a guy. Sometimes there's a roadblock in front of you. I always say who was the shortstop in Scranton when Derek Jeter was playing there. He wasn't going anywhere.
Right.
So some of those guys, and it could have that person of those years. There was probably a ton of really good shortstops that maybe had to get to other organizations or play another position.
Yeah.
And I met a guy, Greg Legg was our old manager in Batavia. And I remember seeing his number 9 retired at Scranton back when they were the Red Barons.
Oh, yeah.
Back when they were the Phillies organization. And he was my manager, so I met him, and I said, Greg, how do you get your number retired in Scranton? He says, you play third base behind Mike Schmidt.
Exactly.
So if you're in Scranton forever, then that's how they retire your number.
You get retired just because you're there.
Yeah, because you're there, and he was great. He had to be good too, but he was there because there was nowhere for him to go.
Have you ever lost a player because they were so good they got called up and it was in the middle of when they were on a hot streak and you're like, no, please.
Oh, it
stay.
happens all the time?
Yeah.
Oh, it happens all the time.
But it is what it is.
It's not tough because they're not our players. They're the New York Mets players. That's what we're here for. And we're in our 149th year of professional minor league baseball in Syracuse. And it used to, back in the days, the September 1st call-ups. And everybody locally would get upset. Like I remember in 2014, we were in first place as the then Syracuse Chiefs.
Yeah.
And the Nationals called up, Steven Sousa Jr. and Destin Hood and, Tyler Moore. And they took 6 guys just before we were going to go into the playoffs. And everybody was upset, but it was called the September 1st call-ups. And they called the guys up.
Exactly. That's what they're called, the call-ups.
And I always tell the guys, I hope I never see them again. I hope they leave. I hope they go to the big leagues, and I hope they kill it, and I hope I never see them again. Maybe on a rehab because they're so awesome, and
sure.
They still ended up with us.
Yeah, I mean that's
every performance anxiety over here.
Oh, you're all right. You got it.
Dipping.
That's every kid's dream when you're growing up. Is you're playing wiffle ball or you're playing baseball in the backyard, and you dream of
hitting that home
run, that walk off. You've been hitting a walk-off with this organization, man. I tell people all the time, and I'm not just saying this because you're in my presence. I think
you're saying it because I'm right here.
A little bit. But it is we went to the game, and my God, man. Like, minor league baseball is known to be fun anyway. It's got a very fun energy, known for a lot of promotions going on. But you take it and you raise the bar. And I'm just going to prove it by every day of the week, okay? You've got Taco Tuesday.
Delicious, nutritious tacos.
Wildcat and Wine Slushy Wednesday.
Who doesn't like a wine slushy?
You could pair that with We Care Wednesday.
Well, you could, and we often do.
And one of, I'm sure, everyone's favorites, Dollar Thursday.
The greatest invention in the history of baseball.
And Fizzy Friday.
And with fireworks.
With fireworks.
We like alliteration.
But that's the week. Let's talk about the weekend. Super Saturday?
Always a giveaway, always fireworks, always a national act. Something is super about Saturdays.
Kids eat free Sundays?
Maybe the secret best day. Maybe that's probably the better invention than Dollar Thursday, but probably not. The kids eat free. They run the bases after the game. Jeff the Magic Man is there doing his balloon artistry and telling jokes and doing magic for free. Sometimes it's themed up. Last week was Pirate and Princesses Day. We had princesses there. And it's just such it's a day game usually. And it's just such a family kind of thing why there's not every family in the community there. I don't know why.
I don't know either. And on top of that, for you, for the parents, I think it's one Sunday a month. You got Boozy Brunch.
Boozy Brunch.
I mean, I think that speaks for
Sells
itself.
out every time, unlimited bottomless mimosas, bottomless Bloody Marys. And then we don't just serve hot dogs and hammers. We have chicken and waffles and
The speedies.
charcuterie. No. What do you think? You're talking about the Binghamton Rumble ponies?
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, we're more salt potatoes.
What was the thing I had last time that you told me I had? The pierogies.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Pierogi. No
Pierogi?
S. As
Pierogi.
Central New York's 2025 poll of the year.
Okay.
My job is to make sure people like you
Like me.
stop calling them pierogis.
All right.
It's just pierogi.
Pierogi.
This whole desk could be covered with pierogi, and it's just pierogi.
It's just so it's like deer. Like if there was more than one deer, you would still say there's a ton of deer in here.
It's like bison,
Oh,
but for some reason the Buffalo Bisons
yeah.
put an S on it. I got a
Also,
problem with
on
that.
the way to Buffalo, there's that sign that says Buffalo in All America City. Isn't it All American City?
I
that's a
don't think
thing
the people in Buffalo understand grammar.
I don't. Okay, you said it, not me.
Take.
Hot take.
Usually we trash the Rochester Red Wings.
Yeah,
the
you know why?
Horrible person, Dan Mason.
Because of Dan frickin' Mason, that was on my list. Give me
Anthony
an update
Sprague and Mike
that.
Buchowski in Buffalo are wonderful people. Buffalo's a wonderful city. It's not. Let's circle back to how horrible
Bill.
Rochester is.
Yeah, let's go back.
And
So,
Dan Mason specifically.
I wanted to give you time.
Thank
For
you.
those of you listening, last time we were here, we learned Jason's arch rival,
Arch nemesis
is
Yes.
Dan Mason of the Rochester Red Wings.
Horrible person.
Horrible. Red Wing or Red Wings? Red Wings.
They are the
They're
Red
the
Wings,
Red Wings.
yeah.
Okay, so give me an update.
At least they understand their grammar.
Yeah, they do. So let's talk about Dan Mason real quick. Anything you want to say to him other than?
Oh no, he knows that he's the world's most horrible person. They just inducted the world's most horrible person into their Hall of Fame for years of service and giving back to the community and running a great organization. 100%. Thank
Yeah.
you. Why they do this for this guy, I don't know why.
I don't either.
Yeah.
And
Raising money for charities, making kids happy, blah, blah,
raising-
blah. Dan
helping the
Mason.
community,
Yeah.
healing people who are sick.
Right. Thank you. Whatever.
Dan, I don't know if you know this, but the Syracuse Mets are in first place.
Oh, and owners of the Golden Fork, which is our rival with the Syracuse Salt Potatoes v. the Rochester Plates. So we won those games and we hold the Golden Fork. I believe we're well on our way to the Thruway Cup, which we will be coming to Rochester to take from your stadium, Dan Mason, world's most horrible person.
Well, and there it is. You cut the promo. What's the Golden Fork and what's the Thruway? Is that a real thing or are you just making this up?
No. Golden Fork is the largest trophy in professional sports, and it is a blood battle on the field between the Salt Potatoes and the Plates. Their food alternative identity, and it's a best of 3 series, and we pick specific games, and we won it.
That's amazing.
Swept them.
The Golden Fork, and you.
I was
assume
in-
You have
It's an 8-foot trophy.
really?
It's a Golden Fork made of gold,
That's phenomenal.
paint
Danny,
on wood.
Were you aware of this? Danny used to work there. Yeah, you. Did you?
It's in my office right now.
Did you ever use it to eat? You know how like when you win the Stanley Cup, you drink out of it. Do you use the
You're
Golden
gonna-
Fork to eat steak?
You'd be eating Brontosaurus burgers with this fork. It's a big fork.
That's all
You're
right.
gonna eat a big pierogi to stab with this fork.
You know what else you could eat with it? Dan Mason. You could eat him alive.
He's
with that
bite
fork.
size. I don't know if you could use the fork for him.
I've never met Dan, but man, when I do, that's going to be awkward.
You are going to be very disappointed
I love
because
you.
he's such a nice person.
Jason. He is nice. We're just busting. Jason Smorol, let's talk about
All right.
the thing that everyone's been talking about.
Yes.
You have opened up a competition to the public. Talk about that. What are we doing?
We are renaming the Syracuse Mets, a little community contest, and we've engaged the community. After 149 years of being the Stars, the Chiefs. We started the Stars in 1876.
And then you started.
The Chiefs in 1934.
You brought this beautiful jersey. Thank
That's
you.
the 1985 Chiefs. That's hot.
That is amazing. I am so honored you brought this.
Danny is like salivating over there.
I know he really
Loves that font, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
85, man. That's amazing. So
We've
you're
been
doing
the Chiefs, then Sky Chiefs, then back to the Choo Choo Chiefs, then the Mets. So next year is our 150th year in professional baseball in Syracuse, and we just figured it was time to go forward with a new identity, to re-engage with the community, let them have a say in the matter. We love the Mets, and a lot of people love us being the Mets. There's a lot of people who don't like us being the Mets. So we figure, let's let the community get involved. Let's find something that identifies with Central New York. A lot of salt entries, a lot of snow entries, a lot of salt potatoes entries, and hopefully at the end of this process, we're going to have a fantastic new identity that we're going to take into our 151st year.
Right.
Because this is not happening till 2027.
Right.
So we will celebrate the Mets and all of our former names next year.
And not to be confused, you will still be affiliated with the Mets. No matter.
Very confusing, but yes, we will still be with the Mets.
Okay.
Just not called the Mets.
Now,
how about when we were owned by the Mets and we had the Nationals on the field?
That was very confusing.
A little bit.
I remember
we were the
Strasburg
Chiefs.
was pitching there, and I remember thinking, wait, I thought they were the Mets. And like, no, they're the Nationals. And that happens in minor league all the time. It happens all the time. Now, that's a very ballsy move to open up this contest to the public. But you're a guy that loves engaging with the public. Was this your idea? Was this like your brainchild?
Nothing specifically my idea. We have kind of a brain trust over there, and there's a lot of good minds over it. If it works, I take credit for it. If it doesn't work, it's Katie Stewart's or Brian Popik's fault.
Now
I blamed a lot of things on Danny Tripodi.
Well, yeah, we do it here. No, that's fantastic, man.
It's doing exactly what we thought it was going to do. Well, I guess what we hoped it was going to do. It's generated a buzz. It's a lot of times we get to August and they stop talking about the Syracuse Mets because it's time for Syracuse University football. It's time for the state fair. It's time for high school sports to get back in action. So now with this name change, we thrust ourselves into the conversation. Now with the first place Syracuse Mets, it's hard to ignore us. So we're in the news. We're being talked about over coffee. We're being talked about at the kitchen table. We just had a youth baseball camp last week for 3 days. All the little kids were giving me their ideas.
Aww.
Not one of them was good. Sorry.
Sorry,
about
the
kids.
Syracuse crayons?
Stupid kids. No,
and we engage. So it's and some people are mad.
Of course.
They were changing it, and some people, a woman came up to me and she's like, "Thank you so much. This is such a great idea." So for her, I totally took credit.
Yeah, well,
I was like, "Oh, you're welcome. I did that all myself."
But the one that came up and was like, "Why are you changing this?"
Yeah,
like,
talk to
blame it on
Katie.
Katie. Blame it on Katie. I
Katie.
told her not to. That's great. And look, no matter what you do in life, I've learned, especially now with social media, there's always going to be a group of unhappy people.
Sure.
So
There's no one name that everyone's go, "That's it."
You know what? We're all in unison together. That's it.
100%.
We love that idea. Do you find that now, since the announcement's been made that you're doing the naming contest, like, is it everywhere you go now? People are like, "Oh, it's Jason, I have this idea."
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's great. And that's what it's supposed to be. So everyone's got their idea. Everyone just sends me, and not everyone, but a lot of people just put their ideas in. A lot of people find it very important to also attach their AI-generated logo.
Okay. Yeah, we're in that world now where you can use AI, so they're going to give you the logo of the team and everything.
They're giving us everything, which we're not going to use.
No, I wouldn't recommend that.
And we're not going to use AI, I don't think, to make the logo.
No, we're not going to do that.
No, we're not going to do that. But it's so much fun, and we're learning so much about Syracuse. We're learning about Central New York. We're learning more about the salt industry. We're learning more about the things we invented here: the dental chair, the serrated knife. Obviously, everyone's favorite, the Brannick device.
Yeah.
The history of Kraus Heinz and the first traffic light. We have the upside down traffic light. There's so much stuff that they're learning about. Myths of lake monsters.
Wow.
Obviously, we're learning more and more and more about the low bridges.
Listen, I'm floored right now because I had no idea the dental chair was invented here.
Yes.
So the thing that has horrified children for years.
Yes.
The torture device was okay.
But you want to cut yourself some bread? We invented the serrated knife.
No way.
The
Syracuse serrated knives?
Yeah, maybe.
The Syracuse dental chairs?
Right?
All right.
You can have like a sound effect as our guys come to bat.
Like seventh inning stretch.
Yeah.
Or when they come to bat. I actually, I have some names I wanted to run by you.
Do you have any AI-generated logos that you could accompany these with? You do have a logo guy over there.
Yeah, I do have a logo guy over there. He's better than AI. Well, here's what I did. I thought, listen, how am I going to compete with everybody? I mean,
you simply register like every single other person on the planet.
Right. But I said,
there's no competition. It's super easy to do. Go to SyracuseMets.com and click on the button to register your idea.
There it is. I was going to ask that too. But I thought, listen, Jason's coming today. I have a fast track right to the GM.
Yep.
How am I going to woo him? And I thought, how about you make it about Jason?
Mm.
So I'm going to make it nearly impossible for you to say no to these names.
I'm already saying no in advance.
All right. Well, here's the thing. I'll start with the non-Jason.
Okay.
What about the Micron machines, right?
Oh, I forgot. There's a lot of microns. There's a lot of chip action.
Sure.
Wait till there's a shovel in the ground.
Okay. But now I'm starting to think.
Very good Syracuse. True blue. We'll wait and see if when we know it's going to happen. It's awesome. It's super awesome. But we'll wait.
That's actually a very smart play.
Very good.
I think that's a very smart play.
Just in
I do love the salt potatoes, but here's the thing.
love the salt potatoes, but they're their own thing.
They are their own thing. How about this? What about the Taco Tuesdays? You love saying Taco Tuesday.
I love alliteration.
Now, you did go to Fredonia.
Yes.
What about the Syracuse Fredonia Blue Devils?
I think Fredonia would have a problem with that.
Okay, fine. What about the... here we go. The, what is it? Oh, the Syracuse Watertown Indians. Because you worked for the Watertown Indians?
Indians has had its time in the sun, and that's also...
Right. We got to be careful of that.
Yep.
The Syracuse 92 Battleship Rugby team.
Oh,
part of that?
Battleship would be good for our naval history here in Syracuse.
The battleships?
Yes.
Or the Syracuse Cobras, because that is the
it's open.
Bishop Grimes.
It's up for grabs.
That's where you went to high school, Bishop Grimes. And then last is my favorite.
Okay.
The Smoriols. Instead of the Baltimore Orioles,
sure.
The Syracuse Smoriols. Smoriols versus the Orioles? Who doesn't love that?
Kind of like your favorite campfire treat.
That's right. But
those are fantastic ideas.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But I will say, this. I am intrigued to find out. I was doing research. I was doing research on you. I do want to talk about this 92 Battleship Rugby team. What the hell is that all about?
Oh, the rugby team. I was in Fredonia. My mother sent me a rugby shirt from TJ Maxx. My roommate, Johnny Murdaca, Johnny Crime, because crime doesn't pay. He had little alligator arms.
Okay. Never paid the bill.
Never paid the bill. Johnny Crime. He played on the rugby team. He played in high school. We had a men's team in Fredonia, the Battleship Rugby Club, the Black Horse Rugby Club. Are we talking about Black Horse or Battleship?
I think Battleship.
Oh,
where you won the 92.
Well, I started playing in Fredonia, and then I started playing. I played for a long time. I ended up in Mobile, Alabama. And one of the best things about rugby is that wherever you go, you have an immediate band of brothers. You just go to the local rugby club, and you just show up and played on the Syracuse Chargers. I played on the Barracks Rangers or whatever they call it when I was in Watertown. And when I went to Mobile to go to the United States Sports Academy for my degree in sports management, I looked them up and found the Battleship Rugby Club and just showed up and it was a wonderful time because you have an immediate band of brothers.
Yeah.
And you go to practice, you stay in shape, you play rugby. It's a great game. And they were a really good rugby team. And we won the 1992 national championship. The only reason that anybody knows this is because Clint Cure was our assistant general manager. He was a really good rugby player. He would go and travel to Ireland and England and go in tournaments and he just looked like he was a good better rugby player than me.
You look like a rugby player now.
So I put that in there just so Clint knew that, oh, by the way, Clint, because you always talk about his rugby. I don't really talk about it that much. And I was like, well, let's just rub it in Clint's face, just out of spite.
Yeah.
Because Dan Mason's a horrible person. I'm a wonderful person. Out of spite, I played in the 1992 national championship team, Division II, men's Division II, back in the day, and it was great. And I still am in touch with those guys to today.
It's a brotherhood. And do you still follow rugby at all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Brad
Bassett will send out that we could watch the World Championships on Peacock at 3:00 in the morning or whatever it is. And
sure.
I was fascinated. I mean, the Olympics was great, but the women's rugby. I love women's rugby. I love women's basketball.
Yeah.
I just think it's a more pure game. It's I love watching. I was hooked on women's basketball before Caitlin Clark, but she's got me all locked in.
Well, now you're locked in.
Now I know multiple players on multiple teams. I love it.
So I thought hockey players were the toughest athletes on the planet until I watched a rugby match.
Yeah.
Dude, it's football without pads.
Yeah.
It's just wild.
Yeah.
And how does one know they're good at rugby? You know what I mean? Like you grow up playing baseball with your friends. You're like, oh man, I got a good arm. how do you know? Yeah, I might be good at rugby.
Well,
It's not like a regular.
As long as you're a good athlete, you're good. And then you just have to be just not the brightest bulb in the block.
Sign me up.
You're going to put yourself in harm's way. But, the counterpoint to that is you don't have helmets or helmets and shoulder pads, and it's going to hurt you just as much as it's going to hurt the other guy or girl. So you properly tackle. And, I don't know, you get kicked a lot and you get bloody, and it just happens, and it's just kind of you just get used to it.
You think rugby players?
And then you'll know after a couple of practices and a couple of games if you're in it or not. That's not for me.
It's not for me.
Or I'm all in, which I was all in right from the get-go.
Yeah. So you think rugby?
I think my daughter would have been a fantastic rugby player. I was always encouraging her to do that because she was fit, fast, and ball hungry in all of her other sports. But the multiple concussions she got just playing soccer, I don't think that's going to help her playing rugby.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, we're gonna.
No bueno.
Yeah, she would have been good though. She's speedy.
Yeah.
I was not, however, speedy. I played in the pack. I was deceptively fast.
Deceptively fast.
I thought I was fast.
Do you think rugby players are like the toughest athletes on the planet? They've got to be.
They're pretty tough. I met some pretty tough guys out there.
Dude, I
think all these guys are tough. Football players are pretty tough. Hockey players are pretty tough. Hockey players and rugby players seem to be very much more simpatico. Just beer drinking dudes.
They are tough as nails. I had a band years ago, and we played at this place called General Clinton's Pub in Oneonta.
Okay.
And we were getting ready to load in, and the owner says, guys, yeah, we got a rugby team here from the college. They just won something. They kind of took over the bar, so you're going to have to wait about an hour till you load in. We walked in, and I swear to God to you, there had to be 3-4 inches of beer on the ground that made like a puddle, and some guy was doing naked stomach slides. This was late 90s, early 2000s, and it was music was playing, and they're cheering. It was like
the greatest parties in the world are post-game rugby parties.
That's where I was going. I had
100%.
never, and I've been to a
Hands down.
lot of parties, my friend.
Yeah.
I had never seen a
The
party like a rugby
songs,
party.
the singing.
All of it. Yeah, they were all clinking glasses, and they knew the words, and they're...
It's a little bit like a German beer hall.
Yes.
Yes.
And my question was, does that translate across all of rugby, or was that maybe an Oneonta thing? 'Cause I feel like it's all of rugby.
All of rugby from the world-class New Zealand All Blacks down to the Oneonta Rugby
Whatever they
Club.
are. Yeah.
So
ORC.
the old
Yorks.
after the game, after the practice, you go to the bar. After the game, you play a game. You shake everybody's hand.
Sure.
And you go and hang out and you party with them.
That's amazing.
And you sing songs and it's awesome.
What the hell's better than that?
There's nothing better than
Actually, there is. The first place Syracuse Mets. That's a little bit better.
Uticuse Rugby likes to come out and to historic MBT Bank Stadium. So they must have be a band of teams and have either consolidated. I go over there and say hello to them. I kind of let them do their own thing. They try to recruit some new players. I'm assuming the Syracuse Chargers are still going. They have a nice little rugby pitch over there on the west side of town.
Yeah, okay. I love it.
Yeah. One time, my funny one, we were playing with the Chargers, and there was this guy, and I can't remember his name, and I met somebody that I shared the story with him recently, and he remembered who the guy was, and his name was Mike. And we were playing a game, and there's a tackle, and he starts screaming and screaming and screaming, and he's down there. He's like, oh, my gosh, my eye. And he comes up, and he has no eyeball in his socket.
Yo!
And then he picks it up, and he's got an eyeball there, and we're all just standing over the top of it. And then he just put it in his mouth and then popped it back in his eye. I guess he had a fake eye.
Oh.
He would do that every once in a while.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, that guy
yes.
was great. That was a long time ago, but that was great.
I had a friend who had one eye, and the first time I ever met him, I was sitting at a bar, and we were having a conversation, and I looked the other way, and when I looked back, there was an eyeball in my beer.
Oh, I think that was a big thing at this guy's game.
Yeah.
I think that was a big part.
was a
At the party.
And we were best friends ever since.
He was probably like the vice president of some company.
Of course he was. I thought you meant he really ate his eyeball. I mean,
I really did. Everybody thought he did it. He whacked it. It came out. There was blood coming down of his face.
Sure.
It's great.
That's a huge intimidation.
And then he just knows. He's like, oh, this is the perfect time to do the old eye trick.
Yes.
I haven't done this in 3 years.
That's hilarious. I love that. Well, Jason Smorol of the first place Syracuse Mets.
First place Syracuse Mets.
Tell us what's coming up other than the naming contest. What do you got? Anything you want to plug coming up?
Well, first the contest. Go to SyracuseMets.com, and we have it pinned right to our website. And you click on that, it'll take you to a site. You can register your name. Your suggestion gives you a little place to add your suggestions. We're really not really talking about the names that are being submitted because we're going to at the end of the month, which I believe is the 31st. That ends, and then we will release 10 names, and then people will vote on those 10 names. And then we will whittle that down to 5 names, and then people will vote on those 5 names. So you still have time to put in your suggestions with good ideas. Super awesome. Still some time to do that. And we only have 2 homestands left.
Wow.
So we only have 12 home games left. We're on the road right now in Rochester.
Oh, hi, Dan Mason.
Yeah, hello, Dan Mason.
Yeah.
So we're on the road, and they're just promoting the fact that the Syracuse Mets are there and all the prospects. So because there's Mets fans are nuts.
Yeah.
And so there'll be a sea of orange and blue at historic, innovative field in Rochester.
Yeah.
So then we come back next week, so August 19th through the 24th, with a Taco Tuesday, with a We Care Wednesday. And a Wildcat and a Wine Slushy Wednesday. We have Dollar Thursday as the Congueros de Syracuse, our third Latino night.
Very nice.
Fizzy Friday with fireworks. That one is our Eras night, our Taylor Swift promotion.
Oh,
where we have Taylor Swift friendship bracelet jersey giveaways, card set giveaways, courtesy of our friends from Hyundai Cicero with the team photo on there. Fireworks set to DJ Swifty playing Taylor Swift music for the fireworks. And then Super Saturday nesting doll giveaway.
Oh.
It's little because it's a salt potato power move weekend.
Okay.
So we'll be playing as the salt potatoes. And then we have the golden fork, and then Mr. Salt Potato, Mrs. Salt Potato, little tater tot, and then it just goes down to the nesting dolls. So cool. Thank you to our friends from Coca-Cola.
That's amazing.
Kids Eat Free Family Sunday, which is a bark in the park, your last chance to bring your dogs. It's $5 for the dogs. All that money goes back to local rescue groups. And then we have a 2-week road trip, but we're going to the dreaded Scranton Rail Riders.
Ooh, Yankee.
Which are right there neck and neck. We win like crazy. They're winning like crazy.
Right now, you guys both tied at 30 and 11.
That is going to decide.
That's a huge game.
That's it.
Huge series.
There's 6 games. That's going to decide who's going to the playoffs or not.
Wow.
That's my guess. And then we have the last homestand, which is like September 9th through the 14th. And then we pack it all in. Taco Tuesday, another We Care Wednesday, where we bring out 10 local nonprofits, and hopefully people can go to our website. If they feel like coming to a game on Wednesday, I'd rather you buy a ticket from one of those nonprofits because $5 of each ticket sold goes back to those nonprofits. $1 Thursday, which is 9/11, so we'll do a Remembrance Day. It's also college night. There's discount for college kids. We'll see how those two things match up together. And then it's Irish night. Big night. Green beer.
Yeah.
Giveaway Irish jerseys. I think we don't know if we did it correctly, but we spelled Syracuse in Gaelic on a green jersey. And then Saturday is Italian night. So we have bagpipes the other night and dancing, Irish dancing. Italian night with an Italian musician coming in. Italian jerseys, which are super hot. Fireworks set to Italian music. And then we wrap it all up on the last day of the season for us. There's another road trip. On a Kids Eat Free Family Sunday Fan Appreciation Day, there'll be special ticket deals and food deals. We need to empty out the freezers.
My God.
Last day is a good day to come.
That whole rant you just did sounded like the greatest vacation resort of all time, but it's not. It's the Syracuse Mets.
It's just what we do. Nobody does what we do.
That's what I'm trying to say when we opened and I said, minor league baseball is known for a lot of fun promotions, but you take it to the next level, and I'm not exaggerating. I mean,
there might be a boozy brunch on that last day. That might be the best boozy brunch to go to. We got to clean out the freezers.
You should bring your friend over and do eye-eating Thursday. He'll pop his eye out through his mouth.
Hopefully that guy still lives in Syracuse. He'll come to a game, and he won't. Hopefully he doesn't say anything. Hopefully he just comes up to me and just takes his eye out.
Yeah. And Dan Mason Hate Day. We gotta get that.
Why that hasn't started? That's your best idea. That's your best idea.
That's my best idea?
That's it.
We Hate Dan Mason Day?
100%.
Or you do Dan Mason bobbleheads, but make it real ugly.
And just destroy them.
Just smash.
Have him look nothing like him.
Yeah. Nothing. Like, absolutely. Just like missing teeth.
Yeah.
Make him like 300 pounds heavier. Whatever you can do.
And he's a big Notre Dame guy. We put him in like a a USC jersey.
Yeah, or Michigan.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
That would be real good.
That's actually got
Look at
some
that.
legs.
That's got some legs?
It's got some legs.
You got some legs, too. Don't downplay. Listen, Jason Smorol of the first place Syracuse Mets, you are one of my favorite people, man, and thank you for coming.
My pleasure.
Good luck with the naming contest. Good luck with all the promotions. Thank you so much for the throwback Chiefs jersey. You got one for Matt? Sorry, Danny. I really think
Danny will just make himself one.
he can do it all.
We'll get Danny a better one. No offense.
No, it's fine. He deserves it. Jason Smorol, Syracuse Mets, thank you so much for your time, and good luck with everything, and go Mets.
Thank you. Thank you guys for spreading the good news of New York.
We love you.
We love you.
Mike Brindisi here on another edition of Good News York. You heard it here first. SyracuseMets.com for all of the things we just talked about. And remember, we are sponsored by Ads on the Go. GetAdsOnTheGo.com. We will see you next week.